Hello everyone and welcome to Beginner's Code, a place for you to learn with me as I dive deep into the coding world. Now before I start, if you want to learn a little more, please check out my website, my Instagram or my GitHub for projects. The links for these will all be in the descriptions below, so please feel free. Also don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me as I teach you through the basics. Today we will be looking through Google Trends to find out the most searched term, and then transferring that data into a pie chart so we can easily analyse which programming language was Googled the most often in 2020. Okay, so the first thing that we're actually going to do is, I came over to Google Trends and I searched some programming languages. And the first one was Python, then Java, then JavaScript, then PHP, and then C++. And if you look down here, we've been able to compare them all to each other worldwide for 2020. And you'll see here that Python has an average of 86, whereas Java has an average of 65, JavaScript 57, PHP 28, and C++ 23. So what I've actually done is I've added them all together to create a total, and then divided each average by the total and times it by 100 to get the percentage for each section. So now what we can do is actually transfer that into a pie chart so that we can see exactly how much, so that we can actually compare the percentages together. So what we'll do first is we'll head into a text editor and I will just import pyplot. So from Matplotlib, import pyplot as PLT. And then what we want to do next is just create some labels. So we'll actually put them in order so that we know exactly which order to put the percentages in. So programming languages is equal to a list of strings. So Python, Java, JavaScript, PHP, and then C++. And next, we just need to work out the actual percentages. So as I said, to do this, I took the average, divided it by the total, and times it by 100. So the first one was 86, which returns 33.2. So if I create a list and call it percentages, we want Python to be attached to the first one. So we'll pass that in first, so 33.2. Java was 65, so 65 divided by 259 times by 100 is 25.1. And then JavaScript was 57, so that returns 22. PHP was 28, which is 10.8, and then C++ was 23, which is 8.9. So now what we can do is just actually plot this already onto a pie chart. And to do this, we'll use plt.py, and we need to pass in the percentages first and then the labels. So if we do labels equals programming languages and we pass in that list, then it will go through the list and it will attach each label to each individual percentage. So now if I save this and then do plt.show and run it, then you'll see that this opens up and we have a nice simple pie chart that takes up enough room, tells us exactly what's associated to where, and it's appealing. However, we can make it better. So what we'll do next is add in the percentages for each segment, and this you may need to use the documentation for to remember. I do have it written down, so auto PCT is equal to, and then in strings, percentage 1.1 F percentage. Don't ask me why, I'm not 100% sure as to why. However, this allows it to look like that. And now you'll notice that we have the percentages put onto each segment and it is actually resizable, which is perfect. But to make it even better, we may want to add some colours. So if we create a list of colours, and in strings we need to pass in either the hex code or the name of the colour. And for now I'm going to do the hex code, so FCE762, and that will be for Python. And then for Java, 9D 9D9AO, and then JavaScript we'll use D90368, and then PHP we will use 4F4789, and then for C++ we will use FFCAE9. And then now we just need to pass in these colours to the actual pie plot. So if we do colours equals the list of colours and then save and run, you'll now see that they have all been given different colours. And this makes it a lot easier to actually work out what is associated to what. We could have made Python yellow and then Java. We could have actually made them specific to the colour that is associated to them. So C++ could have been blue. But for now, this is perfect. We can also add in an explosion. So if we wanted to if we were, say, talking about Python specifically, we could segment Python so that it is exploded out of the rest of the pie chart. So what we'll do first of all is we'll create a variable called explosion, and this will be assigned to another list, and each number will correspond to each different index of the percentages. So it will do first of all 0.1, and then 0, 0, 0, and 0, because there's 5 numbers in total. So if I save this and then run, you'll now see, okay, that didn't work. It's because I forgot to put in explode. So we need to pass in explode and then pass in the explosion that we have created, or the variable name for the explosion. And then now if I run it, we should see, yes, so Python is now slightly segmented from the rest of it. And this could be done even further. The very 0.1, I think, is just 10% of the actual radius. So if we did say 0.9, then Python would start out here. So just to show you, I will just change this to 0.9 and then run it. And yes, so Python is actually all the way out here, which is not very good for the kind of thing that we want to be doing. However, 0.2 or 0.3, for example, may work perfectly, which it does. Okay, so next we can actually, because we've been looking at Python and exploding Python, we may want to make it so that Python is the actual start angle. So it starts at Python. So what we'll do is start angle is just equal to 90 degrees. And this just shuffles it round to make the very top here 90 degrees. Well, if we had an angle here, the start angle just makes it shifts it to the very top so that it starts at the top. And you'll see now that Python is the segment here, and then all the rest have just been moved around ever so slightly. We can also pass in a shadow, and this shadow will just make it a little bit 3D-like, which gives it a little bit more visual appearance or aesthetics. So shadow equals true, and this is either a true or false boolean. Whatever you would want to type in. Obviously false would not give the shadow, however true causes it to have a nice little 3D effects by putting a shadow behind it. That's all for today's video. Hopefully this has helped your understanding of how we can find out our own data and easily plot a chart or graph to analyse and interpret our data. If there's anything you'd like me to cover further, please don't hesitate in reaching out by dropping a comment below on Instagram or through my website. Stay tuned, as in my next video I will be creating a front-end web development project. If you like what we've been through today and you want to learn more, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date. Thank you, and see you next time.